Maybe these three pitchers are just really freaking good. Let's discuss on Fantasy Baseball today in 5. Welcome into FBT in 5 on Wednesday, May 22nd. I am Frank Stampfl, joined by Scott White. Ranger Suarez has been otherworldly this season. Another start, 7 innings, 1 run, 10 strikeouts. He's got the ERA down to 136 with a .79 whip. The underlying numbers all look fantastic. The control is better, limiting hard contact. Scott, how much are you buying into the Ranger Suarez breakout? And this is a breakout. This is the best we've ever seen from him. And is he a top 25 starting pitcher rest of season?
Oh, top 25. I think he's right on the fringe because I feel like 25 is about the point in the pitcher rankings where you see what I consider to be the more durable aces. And I don't mean that in terms of they're going to stay healthy. I mean that in terms of I'm more confident they will remain aces, either because they have that kind of track record or they're doing everything right in addition to missing a ton of bats like a Jared Jones. That's not something Ranger Suarez is doing a lot of, though, he's more than a strikeout per inning at this point. The going narrative is that he is commanding the ball a lot better and specifically putting his changeup in the most optimal spot to have this kind of success, to have a mid-1 ERA. To what extent am I buying it? Well, I don't think he's going to be mid-90s Greg Maddux, which is how he's performed so far. If I did, obviously he would be in my top 25 rather than just on the verge of it. It's reminding me, Ranger Suarez season is reminding me a lot of Justin Steele last year. Similar profile, ground ball pitcher who went from being not so great at control to amazing at control, with about a strikeout per inning, so not amazing, but good enough in that regard. And Justin Steele kept it going for almost a full season last year, as late as September 9th, I believe it was. He had an ERA in the 240s still, but then 3 terrible starts to end the season. It was over 3. I kind of suspect Ranger Suarez ERA will be in that 3 range from today forward, but he'll be good. I mean, he'll be worth rostering, and there's no reason to consider sitting him right now, obviously.
Garrett Crochet was great again at the Blue Jays. He threw 6 shutout innings with 4 strikeouts, and over his last 5 starts, it's a .96 ERA, a .71 whip, 34 strikeouts to just 5 walks over 28 innings. And with Garrett Crochet, Scott, he's already up to 57 2/3 innings this year. Very limited track record coming into the season. At what point, if any, would you be looking to sell high on Garrett Crochet this season?
Well, that's a complicated question. If you're just asking when do I get concerned about innings, I think I start thinking about it around 75, certainly at 100. We don't really know how long they're going to let him go. He's been a reliever for his entire pro career before this year and then missed a lot of time with injuries. So he's built up to nothing, but he's also has a few years of service time already, and so he's closer to free agency than you think. So they may let him go 150 innings. I don't think there ever gets to a point where it's like emergency trade Garrett Crochet now. But then the other aspect of when do you sell high on Garrett Crochet is how high can you reasonably sell? Because starting pitchers by and large have been so good across the league. That's not a position people really need. And he got Garrett Crochet as well as he's pitched, as good as I think he is. His ERA is in the high 3s. And he pitches for the worst team in baseball. So there's going to be win issues there. So I don't know that you're going to get a haul for Garrett Crochet if you try to sell high. I think you just enjoy having another useful piece. I will say this, if you're trading for a hitter, because that's a scarcer commodity, and you got a deal you like for a hitter, but the other person is insisting on you including Garrett Crochet, then I'd include Garrett Crochet because I think that'll be easier to replace than having to find an alternative trade for a hitter.
The last name on this list is Bryan Woo, who was awesome at the Yankees. He threw 6 shutout innings with 7 strikeouts, 16 swinging strikes over 77 pitches. and he has allowed just 1 earned run total in his 3 starts. It's a small sample, but how much are you buying what we've seen so far from Bryan Woo?
Basically buying it. He was good all of last year. It's weird profile in that it's so much just 4-seamer, 2-seamer, those 2 fastballs, and he does so much with that, and you wouldn't think it would work. He has other pitches that he mixes in, but not a lot. And it's worked. It worked as a rookie last year. It's worked so far through 3 starts. I will point out that even though he was extended to 6 innings in this start, and you may take that as an encouraging sign, 77 pitches is all he threw. To his credit, that he was that efficient, got through 6 innings. Won't happen often, though. We have yet to see him go 80 this year. And the Mariners were pretty protective of him last year, too. So I would say, is Bryan Woo going to go deep enough, consistently enough to be an impact pitcher in fantasy? But it'll be a useful one at the very least.
All right, for more extensive fantasy baseball coverage, listen to the Fantasy Baseball Today podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, the Odyssey app, or anywhere else podcasts are found. Thanks for listening to Fantasy Baseball Today in 5, and we will be back again tomorrow. Bye-bye.